Today on Carolina Week, seniors head over to Kenan Stadium to get your grad gear. We're live at the Blue Zone.
A toxic coal ash site near campus might soon be home to new government buildings. Stay tuned.
From the UNC Hussman School of Journalism and Media, connecting Carolina's campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Good morning and welcome to Carolina Week. I'm Stephen Schling.
And I'm Kelly Kendall. Though we're sad to see our seniors graduate, we're glad they get to experience the fun senior activities that Carolina has in store the next 2 weeks.
That's right, Kelly. And in fact, the Grad Fair is going on right now in the Blue Zone of Kenan Stadium. Carolina Week reporter Sarah Choi is live at the scene.
Stephen, I can see why they call it the Blue Zone because it is an ocean of Carolina blue out there. Grads can find everything that they'll need for graduation right here. That includes caps, gowns, professional photography, and how to use your UNC email after graduation. The fair ends at 4 p.m. today, so stop by if you're graduating. In Kenan Stadium, I'm Sarah Choi reporting. Back to you.
Thanks, Sarah. Future college students in North Carolina may have to take a U.S. history course to graduate. This coming from a bill recently approved by the State House. The legislation requires students to take courses on the U.S. Constitution, the Emancipation Proclamation, and other historic documents, unless they've passed an advanced placement exam. University administrators who don't enforce the requirement risk being fired. The measure would go into effect as early as the 2024 to 2025 school year for first-year students.
A lab building at the UNC School of Medicine caught on fire last week. The fire led to severe smoke and water damage on multiple floors. The Chapel Hill Fire Department responded to a structure fire call around 11 p.m. at Marsico Hall. 2 fire crews at the scene managed to put out the fire and no one was injured. UNC's Environment, Health and Safety Department is still investigating what started the fire. A group of UNC Hussman students spent spring break attending class, but their coursework took place in Puerto Rico. As a part of a global storytelling course in the UNC Hussman School, students spent 10 days in Puerto Rico. They split into groups to tell 5 different stories on issues impacting Puerto Ricans like the power grid, healthcare, and the government. Junior Gerard Millman, a videographer on the team, said this about the experience.
So on one hand, there's so much learning about Puerto Rico itself. But on the other hand, there's so much learning about how to be on a team with other people who are very good at what they do.
All of the stories will come together in a multimedia project released in late April.
A $3 million donation to the School of Education will fund a fellowship to support new teachers in rural counties. The Fellows for Inclusive Excellence program places current School of Education students and recent graduates in schools in Chatham and Person counties. The fellowship provides teachers with special training and professional development to help them teach underrepresented students.
3 UNC health hospitals ranked among the best in the world in Newsweek's World's Best Hospitals 2023 list. On the list, UNC hospitals in Chapel Hill, UNC Rex in Raleigh, and UNC Health Johnston in Smithfield. Thousands of medical experts and healthcare professionals evaluated the hospitals based on recommendations from peers, patient experience, hospital quality data, and patient-reported outcome measures.
UNC's nursing program is getting a boost from a $5 million gift meant to address a statewide nursing crisis. The money will help lower tuition costs for the nursing program and to add more faculty. University leaders say the donation could support 250 undergraduate nursing students and expand enrollment by 50%. The state faces an average annual shortage of 5,000 to 8,000 nurses. Experts warn more nurses are leaving or retiring.
Coming up, Chapel Hill Town Council voted against the GOP-backed Parents' Bill of Rights and in favor of a new development on a toxic coal ash site. Stay with us.
The Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Now on to Carolina Capitol. Governor Cooper did not veto a controversial anti-rioting bill this week, unlike his actions in years before. The bill increases punishment already in place for inciting or participating in a riot and creates new crimes for any involvement in riots where someone dies. Property owners will also be able to sue rioters for property damages. Cooper vetoed a similar bill back in 2021. The Chapel Hill Town Council unanimously passed a resolution opposing two bills in the General Assembly targeting LGBTQ youth. One of them is Senate Bill 49, known as the Parents' Bill of Rights, which bans teaching about LGBTQ issues in the classroom and gives parents more access to school curriculums. House Bill 43 bans gender-affirming care and the use of drugs like puberty blockers and hormones. Chapel Hill Mayor Pam Heminger says the resolution advocates for all people in the community.
We want to make sure that we do always speak up and stand up and support the values of individuals to be who they are. And like I said, not to be called out or punished in any way for being who they are.
Carrboro Town Council and Chapel Hill Carrboro City Schools also released statements opposing the state bills, which Governor Cooper is expected to veto. Chapel Hill leaders also voted to build government buildings over a toxic coal ash pit. In a 7-1 vote, council members decided the need for new buildings outweighs the need to remove the toxic materials. The site is currently home to the Chapel Hill Police Department, and according to the town's communications manager, town staff encouraged the council to move forward.
Town staff recommended the council to approve a funding plan, which will allow town staff to, by way of consultants, get a concept plan for a building on the site.
The council is discussing a remediation plan. The public can provide input on the plan in the fall before it's finalized.
Organ donations save more than 42,000 Americans every year. Chapel Hill is now home to a new state-of-the-art organ donation center. The Honor Bridge Donor Care Center is the first non-hospital site where where organs will be recovered. The dummy you're seeing on the screen is being used for practice purposes. Medical experts expect the facility will increase donations, improve the organ recovery process, and free up hospital space by treating patients on site. Remember the science fair back in school as a kid? One Durham student's idea won them nearly $100,000. Lyndon James is a senior at the North Carolina School of Science and Math from Durham. For the National Regeneron Talent Search Competition, James researched the benefits of a thyroid hormone to treat traumatic brain injuries. James placed 5th overall and told us what this special moment means for the school.
It was incredible for me because no one at the NC School of Science and Math had ever placed in the top 10 before. We had finalists, but never that. And especially as a non-binary person, it was really important to me that I be represented.
Spring has officially begun, and you can celebrate right in your own backyard by participating in Orange County's Creek Week. The annual week-long series of activities is designed to celebrate rivers, lakes, and streams in the area. Organizer Tayton Alvis says participating in a Creek Week cleanup is a great way to get involved.
It doesn't have to be right next to the creek for the trash to drain into the creek, because that's how a watershed works. So good to clean up all the trash you can.
There are 5 more days left of Creek Week, and if you'd like to get involved, here's a list of events today through Sunday. Learn more about Creek Week at orangecounty.nc.gov.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun, Kelly. Are you going to participate in Creek Week?
I think I should. There's a creek right near my house.
Absolutely. And what about spring break? I don't think either one of us traveled too far south for it.
No, Stephen, I actually shipped up to Boston for spring break.
That's awesome. Well, I stayed right here in the Triangle, but I'll tell you, I was a little bit jealous of all the warmth that I saw on Instagram for people visiting places like Punta Cana.
Oh my gosh, me too. My pictures were full of scarves and gloves for sure.
Yes, that was me. But it doesn't look like we're going to need those anytime soon.
Yeah, that's right. Let's turn it over to CW meteorologist Corey Kowitz to tell us if we have any sunny updates coming up. Corey?
Yeah, guys, we certainly had a really chilly spring break around our neck of the woods, remaining chilly today. Let's take a look at what we have right now set up. We have a conveyor belt of moisture right north of stationary front. So we're in the moist sector, but it's going to remain chilly. Not a lot of showers, scattered in nature, not a lot of rain, but it'll be enough to dampen our temperatures today. Let's take a look at the temperatures right now on the next slide. Here we have 59 in the high 50s here in the Raleigh-Durham area. But we're wondering, it's going to be a little bit warmer out there. So we're wondering that we have that conveyor belt of moisture, but it's going to be so dry today. It's going to be so dry that it's going to evaporate all this rain, and it's not going to make it to the coast. So you see that line covers where that rain and moisture. It's going to be enough to break up some of the showers here, make it more scattered. Not a ton of rain, but hopefully you don't catch one on your way to class today. We look class by class forecast here. You can see at noon, it's going to be 52 degrees. If we go to the next slide, 52 degrees at noon, 56, going up to the high 50s throughout the day. Remaining a chance of showers throughout the day, remaining in the vicinity here. I see the highest chance of showers can be around 3 p.m., diminishing in terms of our chances and the widespread nature of the rain evaporating, as said, as the dryer is going to be in place here by 6 o'clock, starting to taper off. And you think that it's going to be warm here. Take a look at what we have set up for tomorrow. God, it's going to be a lot warmer here, guys, today. 81 degrees in Raleigh, and nearly a 20-degree difference here, going up to 81 into the low 80s. You thought it's going to be warm. I think that's as warm it's going to get. Think again, because it's going to be even warmer for your Friday. Mid-80s, could even be into the high 80s here. Look at those dark reds. I mean, what a contrast. They might not even get to 60, possibly reaching the mid to high 80s on your end of your week on Friday. What a beautiful setup here. Spring and even summer-like temperatures here. This is the average temperatures we see in June. However, guys, we're watching a system on Saturday that could possibly bring us some storms. Let me break it down for you real quick. I drew this red circle here. That is where I think the best chance we could see of some scattered storms and thunderstorm activity, maybe even severe, few days out. Really hard to predict thunderstorms that are a few days out here. So as it gets closer, please check your forecast here. We do have the variables and the setup for thunderstorms in a squall line fashion here, lining that cold front that could be racing its way east, affecting us. Showers at the beginning of the day, possible thunderstorms later that afternoon on Saturday. But besides today, the following days will be well above average. We have our cool, rainy, and damp day today, but we dry out, making a beautiful end of your week on Thursday and Friday in the low 80s, and then in the mid, maybe even to the upper 80s. We had a little bit of a tweak in that forecast, make it possibly even warmer for your Friday. That chance of thunderstorms and showers for Saturday, but remaining warm again on Saturday, drying out for your Saturday, guys. So that cold temperatures we saw during spring break, that's going to be our rearview mirror, because we're going to see a lot warmer temperatures coming up, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, Corey. After the break, an update on sports betting in North Carolina.
And the latest on Tar Heel athletics. Stay with us.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew a girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
A bill moving through the state legislature could let you gamble through the highs and lows of collegiate sports on your phone. Leslie Guzman, reporting for the WRAL CBC UNC Diversity Fellowship, has the story.
For sports fan Jacob Dale, last year's failed sports gambling bill was a missed shot.
I was really hopeful that the bill would pass last year. It was a little bit disappointing.
The bill is back for a second round, and one of its main sponsors, Representative Jason Sain, is expecting a different outcome this session.
I think we're moving forward. I think it's a much different atmosphere from last time.
While Representative Sain is optimistic, having apps like these in North Carolina is still more than just a click away. WRAL's investigative sports reporter Brian Murphy has kept a close eye on the sports wagering bill and explains why it hasn't been able to get the votes.
Yeah, I mean, North Carolina is just, a more conservative state than some of the states that have legalized mobile sports betting.
Murphy explained that this year's session could be different because there are new lawmakers in the House, and pro sports teams spent the last few months lobbying lawmakers and providing better data. Representative Sains explains that North Carolinians are already sports betting and says passing this bill will ensure consumer safety.
Quite frankly, I think the bill puts a spotlight and allows for some real transparency to understand better what sports wagering is looking like in our state.
Sports fans like Dale say legalizing sports betting could even help some sports grow in the state.
Something like F1 that's growing. I don't watch it, but if betting was involved, maybe I'd look into it. And that would be fun and give me a reason to watch it.
Yesterday, the House Finance Committee approved the bill. It heads to the House Judiciary Committee today. If this bill were to pass, online sports betting would start in January 2024.
Wow, Kelly, I'll tell you, that's a bill to watch because if I'm honest, it wouldn't have been great if that was legal during the NCAA championship.
Oh my, same. Stephen, my wallet certainly would have taken a hit.
Yes.
But let's hand it over to Sports Extra anchor Joshua Dolgoff for the latest on Carolina sports.
Thanks, Kelly. Now, the Tar Heels did beat the spread, but unfortunately, the madness is over. Looking for its second consecutive Sweet 16 appearance, the UNC women's basketball team played number 3 seed Ohio State in a round of 32 thriller on Monday. UNC went on a 17-4 run in the fourth quarter, driven by Kennedy Todd Williams, and when Alyssa Usby picked up a steal and fed Paulina Paris for a fast break layup, the Tar Heels led 67-66 with 2:03 remaining. A J.C. Sheldon layup and free throw restored the Buckeyes' lead, and UNC took possession with 16.3 seconds left, trailing 69-67. Deja Kelly responded for UNC with a mid-range shot that tied the game with 9.8 seconds left. But Sheldon delivered yet again for OSU, this time with a soaring floater that left only 1.8 seconds on the clock. The Tar Heels put up a valiant effort, but losing a heartbreaker, 71-69, finishing the campaign 22-11. The UNC baseball team hit the Bosch yesterday, trying to stay undefeated in midweek non-conference games. Hunter Stokely hit a 2-run homer in the third inning and drove Casey Cook home in the eighth. Both Cook and Honeycutt collected 2 hits. Alberto Ozuna gave UNC the lead after hitting yet another 2-run blast. The number 15 ranked Tar Heels defeated NC A&T 6-4 to earn their 5th consecutive win. Following last night's win, the Diamond Heels look to keep the momentum going. The Tar Heels will kick off a 3-game series against Duke. Last season, the Tar Heels were 2-1 in their series against the Blue Devils and look to pick up right where they left off, starting tomorrow night at 7 at the Bosch. The women's lacrosse team will look to bounce back after a heartbreaking first loss. The Heels take on High Point at Dorrance Field tomorrow. High Point is currently 1-5 after suffering losses to Elon and JMU. The Tar Heels handily beat both teams earlier this season. Star Caitlin Wurzberger scored 4 goals and notched 2 assists in her game against the Panthers last season, and will also be looking for freshman Caroline Godin to continue her scoring prowess as she hopes to tally a 4th career hat trick, all within the span of 5 games. UNC will meet the Panthers at 6 p.m. The men's lacrosse team is back in action tonight at Dorrance Field against High Point University after a mixed bag this past weekend. The Heels suffered a disappointing loss against rival Duke on Friday, but managed to come back and dominate Dartmouth 25-7 in their next game. The 25 goals scored was the most Carolina has put on the board since their first game of the season. The Heels hope to keep their offense rolling behind attackman Logan McGovern's stellar start to his first year as a Tar Heel. Face-off is set for 7 p.m. And that's not the only action we're keeping an eye on. UNC's ballroom dancers have their heels on the move as they prepare to enter their final 2 competitions of the season. Here's Dylan Gentner with the story.
On Wednesday nights, UNC's ballroom dancing team takes to the Woolen Gym basement for 2-hour-long lessons in Latin style and standard European. At this session, it was Roomba and Foxtrot. In preparation for competitions held a couple times each semester, instructors from Elite Ballroom out of Morrisville, North Carolina, coach dancers of various backgrounds and levels of experience.
So I grew up dancing my whole life. Like I did basically every style under the sun, but I've never done ballroom dancing. And it was something that I wanted to try in college because I feel like college is all about like learning new skills and trying new things.
I started doing ballroom dance and I fell in love with it. I did that for a couple years, but it's kind of expensive to do ballroom if you're not doing it through a college team.
Year-round lessons at an affordable price are a rare find in the dancing world, something the Ballroom Council has worked hard to secure for newcomers and experienced dancers alike.
It's good for your physical health, it's good for your mental health, it's good to meet people.
So even if you're like a complete beginner, you can always start somewhere with ballroom. Like you can have 2 left feet and like we will teach you how to fix that.
Just take the jump, try your first time, and you will not regret it.
With a March 25th competition here in Chapel Hill and a University of Maryland competition in April, the team will be quick stepping into a busy end of the season. I'm Dylan Gettner reporting.
Now, we just got some breaking news surrounding UNC basketball per Tipton Edits. Junior forward Puff Johnson plans to enter the transfer portal, making him the 4th Tar Heel to do so. Don't mean to leave you on a cliffhanger, but we're going to talk all about that and the implications it has for UNC on Sports Extra on Friday. Join us with all of the highlights from another exciting weekend of Carolina athletics. We'll be back.
I surrender.
All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's up?
Do we have a gun?
UNC's campus is known for its stunning azaleas and cherry blossoms blooming in the spring, but green areas across the town of Chapel Hill are also popular this time of year.
Yep, and to help you find the best spots to enjoy warmer temps on Franklin Street, enter the Spring on the Hill Pass. Designed to encourage downtown visitors to explore the area, the pass helps users win rewards. After registering for a free account, check in at various locations and earn points towards prizes and discounts from local businesses.
And speaking of plants, not all cannabis use is illegal in the state. Delta 8 is a legal form of THC, and it's experiencing a boom in popularity. CW reporter Charlotte Zhao tells us more about this barely regulated drug.
From hemp stores to mobile cannabis carts, North Carolinians can get high from a product legally available on shelves at countless vape and smoke shops across the state. It is called Delta 8, a naturally occurring psychoactive from cannabis plants. When it contains less than 0.3% of Delta 9 THC by dry weight, Delta 8 is legal. The difference between the two? Their chemical structures. The position of their double bonds are the carbon chain. But those tiny compounds can also influence the body's reaction.
Delta 9 THC, especially at higher doses, can induce paranoia and anxiety as an adverse symptom. Delta 8 THC can also do that, but it's a little bit more difficult for that compound to actually achieve that, just because it's less psychoactive by nature.
The FDA does warn that Delta 8 THC products haven't been evaluated or approved for safe use in any context, even though some are marketed in ways that could pose a public health threat.
I have a 15-year-old son. It's not a crime for him to possess a bag of Delta 8 gummies. And I get that question from law enforcement and prosecutors quite a bit, who are shocked that it's apparently not a crime.
Delta 8 merchants swear by its medicinal properties, and that's why customers walk into stores like this one and turn to the product for relief from various conditions.
When we get vets with PTSD, with actual physical injuries they sustain during combat that come in and get relief, when we get grandmothers and grandfathers who can't sleep because they've had surgeries that keep them up in the middle of the night.
Even though they're legal, consuming Delta 8 and 9 products could result in a positive drug test and keep job seekers from getting hired. Legal experts like Dixon advise tracking your use and checking employers' rules on cannabis products. In Chapel Hill, I'm Charlotte Zhao.
Wow, that is so interesting. I didn't know that there was a difference between Delta 8 and Delta 9.
I didn't either. I also didn't know that it could prevent you from getting a job depending on your employer's stance on the use of this drug.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see what the future of these products looks like.
It will be.
Well, that's all that we have for you this week. Thanks for tuning in to Carolina Week.
You can find all of today's news and more on our website, tarheels.live/Carolina Now News. Have a good week.